Good morning, world. Do, do, do. It's Saturday morning. Where is the world? The world is out there. Good morning, Colleen. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew Crime Recap Show. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us this morning. Karen, good morning. Welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. Kitiku, Gemma. I emailed you this morning, Gemma. Morning, Cement Shoes. I hope we all had a pleasant holiday. If you celebrated, if not, I hope you took time to reflect and what you're thankful for. Please excuse the background noise in case you guys can hear it. I think there's a bearing going out in my heating unit, the fan for the heating unit. It comes and goes. It's louder. I turned it on this morning about an hour ago. It's been making noise. I can hear it through the ductwork. But I'm sorry about it. But anyways, Alicat, good morning and welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I hope you had a pleasant holiday. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I had my Thanksgiving in October. Is it different parts of the world celebrate on different days, but yes, we had a very pleasant holiday. I had it was supposed to have 22 people who showed up for Thanksgiving here, but I only had 20. Well, technically, we had one that popped in for a little bit and then popped right back out. They came by just long enough to have dessert. Canada. I have a friend who lives in Paraguay, and they actually celebrate Thanksgiving on a whole nother. I think it's like September or something like that. It's like basically they have a holiday that is close to their Thanksgiving there. But I had 20 people here for Thanksgiving. We went through 2.5 birds, turkeys, a 16-pound ham. The ham gone. There wasn't anything left of the ham. The rest of the turkey, what was left of the carcasses of them, I've got them boiling right now on the stove, and I'm making a turkey soup out of the remainder of the turkey. Give it another minute here, and then we'll get this morning crime recap started. But it's overall pretty good Thanksgiving. It was more about it wasn't necessarily the food. To us, it's celebrating and hanging out with friends and family. We ate and talked and caught up with how everything's going in our lives. A lot of the people who came into town for Thanksgiving came from. We had some that came from Vegas, some from Wisconsin, a couple other from Massachusetts. So pretty good gathering. All right, get this coffee brew going. This is Saturday morning coffee brew crime recap show. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here, I recap the stories, and crime stories that I've been following for the past week, along with maybe cases that you're following, maybe you're interested in. Some people are different. I'm trying to put myself in this side window. There we go. I got myself my little window. Whoop, whoop. Willie in his little window. All right. These are the cases I've been following for the past week, November 19th through the 25th. You may be interested in them as well. But if you find these cases interesting, stuff, you can check them out on either my YouTube channel, or you can either open another window and Google these cases themselves. Most of them, if I have reported on them, I cover them on YouTube, Discord, Facebook, or X. X is formerly known as Twitter. Good morning, Gayla, and welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. I hope you had a pleasant Thanksgiving. All right, and as usual, if today is your birthday, or if you're going to be celebrating a birthday this week, I would like to wish you a happy birthday, or maybe you celebrated this past week. I actually know someone whose birthday is tomorrow. Now, dear mom missed that Thanksgiving 24 years ago. She was actually in labor for almost 2 days, and when she finally had her little girl. But she was born 2 days after Thanksgiving. All right. Viewer discretion is strongly advised for all the content you will see or hear on this channel. I have to read this warning because not only is it the right thing to do, but because of the different venues that I stream to, which is Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, X, and of course YouTube. But viewer discretion is strongly advised. None of the content that you will see or hear on this channel is meant for anyone under the age of 18, and especially to those under the age of 13 by law. So if you are, or someone is viewing this under the age of 13, they either lied to, or they are accessing someone else's account that when it was set up. We celebrate your mom's 92nd birthday on Sunday. Well, happy birthday to your mother, Gayla. 92 years young. Let's hope for plenty more to come. All right, the first case that I've been following this past week, I have not reported on this case, but I was on a live stream, on Wednesday of this past week, and we talked about this. Yu Jung, the 23-year-old woman from South Korea. She's a fan of true crime and an avid, you'd say, follower of true crime. She actually was a very well-known, and still is very well-known. I mean, I guess people haven't forgotten about her, but she attended a lot of true crime conventions. I don't know if she ever made it to the U.S. to CrimeCon, but she was very involved in the true crime community online, YouTube, and other places like Reddit and stuff like that. But the curiosity got the better of her, and she actually committed murder. Well, this past week, she was actually found guilty and sentenced to life in prison for the crimes that she convicted. So it goes without saying, but I have to say it anyways. In case you're curious about offing your ex or your current, lover or spouse, don't do it. Unless you want to send me an email first and admit to premeditation, and then, we'll cover it for you. That is sarcasm. All right, but she's been convicted of murder, and she will do life in prison. Now, in South Korea, where she was convicted of, she will most likely have to do manual labor for the entire time that she is in prison. There ain't no cakewalk where you get to sit in your jail cell for your term of life in prison and not do anything, unless you can find the money to bribe the the guards in the prison system, which apparently, from what I understand, she doesn't have. All right, next. Turkey helpline. We just passed the Thanksgiving here in the United States, but according to Butterball and to an Associated Press article that talked about local cooking helplines, and these are major metropolitan areas like Seattle, Los Angeles, New York, Boston, Austin, Texas. They all have independent, like, hey, reach out to Cairo TV's cooking line. That Cairo TV is a television station out of the Seattle metropolitan area. But they saw a 35% increase in calls this year for people needing advice on how to prepare, thaw a turkey, how to cook a turkey, what temperature to cook a turkey at. But they've seen the aging demographic of those calling drop in the past 3 years. The average age and demographic now is a 27-year-old female. The article did not go into ethnicity or anything like that. I don't think they'd even care, but they asked basically, how you self-identify and your age when you call in to some of these helplines. Butterball doesn't actually give a rat's ass who you are. If you're calling, if you need help cooking your turkey, the Butterball will help you. They don't actually ask, but all the local helplines in metropolitan areas did ask, for some demographic, information. But people are still confused, even though most turkeys tell you right on the back of it how long to cook a turkey for based on the weight of the actual turkey itself. But still, people needed information on how to thaw it, cook it, and what temperature to cook it at. I found that interesting, and I hope you did as well. All right, this is a unsolved case that has been with the FBI since the 1990s. Is when the case file was actually put together. But I've been following this case file, which does not have, other than a BAU identifier of, obviously, the typical white male between the ages of, 25 and 35, and so on and so on. But the file has been closed up until the beginning of November. And on November, I think it was like the 4th, I think it was, the file was reopened. Was this just a formality? Do they have new information? I haven't been able to figure out why they reopened it, but it was listed as a cold case. And yes, I did change the case number up above because I'm tired of people, then jumping on my research, and my information to report on it. Hey, they finally have a suspect. And then they dig it up. So yeah, I changed the case number. So good luck trying to find it if you're going through the FBI's archive files. Good morning, Pippadot. Mike, good morning, and welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew. All right, so Friday, yesterday, retailers from East Coast to West Coast are reporting that they've seen a huge amount of organized retail theft rings hitting stores in record numbers. Yeah, on Black Friday, Best Buy and a couple other larger electronics, and department stores that do sell electronics and high-end clothing saw a 29% increase in just Black Friday alone of retail theft rings hitting their stores. This is what is in white there is a quote from one individual who actually was in the store and watched it happen. He said to the lady who works at the store, "Did you just see what happened? What that guy just did?" She said, "Yeah, he comes in 2 to 3 times a week and there isn't anything we can do about it because management is afraid someone might get hurt." Not even stopping them 2 to 3 times a day. Some of these people are hitting the same stores and stealing things. But Best Buy said that they saw in a couple of locations people coming into where the laptop displays are, cutting the security connection to where they're actually connected to the station where they are, and running out of the stores with the actual items itself. They implemented the store doors lock for exits. So they were waiting for, as people got in line to come into the store, they were running out the line. They actually people coming into the store instead of going out the exit side. I'm making these stories up. There might be some exaggeration in that, Mike. I'll give you that much. I wasn't there to watch it myself firsthand, so there might be some exaggeration in that, and they get to write those losses off to an extent. But every theft, still hurts a retail location, like that. All right. Lehana Gradpe was found guilty on all charges. This is from Missoula, Montana, ladies and gentlemen. In case you don't remember this case, I've been following this for a while, but there have been very little during the actual case itself that was released about information on the case, so I wasn't able to report on it too much. But this idiot, she killed her 3 and 5-year-old children, Namus and Evelyn. That is a boy, and Evelyn is obviously the girl. Back in November of 2021, outside of Missoula, Montana. She said originally to the police department that this was supposed to be a murder suicide, that she planned on killing her children and then offing herself. And she did somewhat self harm herself, but she wasn't obviously successful at it. On top of the fact that she murdered her two children, there's video you can watch online and listen to audio of the father of Namus, and who had fought for physical custody of the children, both of them. And he said that to the court, if you allow her, to have these kids, she's going to hurt them. There is something wrong with her. But the family court judge in the same courtroom where he gave the victims panel statement the other day is the same exact courtroom where they took away physical custody of him. They gave him visitation rights only on that visit in the same courtroom. And here he is less than 2 years later, and he's having to tell the court, how his life has been ruined because she murdered both of the children. Tragic as hell. The court never intervened to, make sure that she was mentally sane to even have the children, to have them in her custody, because she had made several statements prior to them actually giving her the children physical custody that she was not of her right mind, not actual direct threats to the children. She made direct threats towards her exes. She made direct, threats towards the court, but not towards, the actual children itself. But even though they never did anything to really stop it or make sure that she was of sound mind. Now, prior to the actual trial itself, she was diagnosed with having bipolar, but she is of sound mind, and she was completely sane to stand trial and aid in her own defense. And again, she was found guilty on all counts um, of the murder of her 3 and 5 year old. So it's sad. Judge needs to be arrested too. Mike, the judge's hands of looking at the actual case itself. Now, I'm not saying that the biological fathers are what's the best way to put this, upstanding citizens or the best parents, or people to raise, the Namus and Evelyn, but they were damn, if you look at it in hindsight, 2020, which is also obviously, a better way to look at it, you know, she wasn't any better, but they had to pick the lesser of the evils at the time. Do you put the children with someone who may have a substance abuse problem, where the child is not going to get the attention, nutrition, and care that they need? Or do you put it with the person who may be a little bit out on the outskirts of society and beliefs, who at the time, from all things that considered, maybe had some, anger issues, or maybe a little bit confused about where the world is going. I'm talking, mainly about her, some of the things that she had said before the custody was changed. But if they have to pick the lesser of the evils, and there's not always a grandparent or a foster home that can take children in. There are hundreds and thousands of children across the world that are in foster homes, not in the foster care in the system, who don't have a permanent home to call home. Maybe they're at home with an aunt or an uncle, and they're sleeping on the floor. There's tragedies throughout the entire system, and there's not enough people to care for children. In this situation, yeah, the court definitely, made the, what they thought was the lesser of the, of the evils in the case. But yeah, and at the same time, that's in hindsight. Can we arrest the judge? The judge's hands were pretty much tied, and we know this person has an issue. We can't put the children with this person. And now we have the mother over here on this side, and the mother has issues, but she's not as far, her issues are not as great. So they did, they picked the lesser of the evils in that situation. What they should have done was they should have followed up. And that's where, Child Protective Services, again, these two children fell through the system. They didn't follow up and make sure everything at home was going good. Now, at the same time, I have to say that there are people I know in from the past who have been involved in child protective services cases after a divorce. And what I know and what everyone else in the family and friends know about the situation and how they're actually being cared for is completely different from what social services may know about the child protective services may know about the care of the child, because days or weeks or whenever they know the next visit is coming up, they'll clean everything up, the entire apartment or home wherever the child is, so it looks like everything is going great. And how do you get a 3-year-old to verbalize and use the words that they haven't been treated correctly, or mom is not attentive to them? How do you can probably get a 5-year-old to tell you more than a 3-year-old, but at the same time, they're going to do whatever they can to protect the parent that loves them. They don't want to switch homes. They don't want to go into foster care or be shuttled off the one to one home, one to another home. Children are going to obviously lie and or not tell, instead of telling a lie, just not tell everything that's going on. And then again, the protective services come in, they look at the place, they evaluate it, who are overworked. Some of these, child protective service workers, may have 1,000 children, on their caseload, and they only have 40 minutes to come in and see the environment and see the child, make sure there's food in the home, that they're being cared for, that they're going to school, and stuff like that. And they have 45 minutes to do 2 children, a situation, and either make a judgment call. We need to follow up on this more. We need to make more home visits. We don't need to, or whatever's going on. And that's from my own personal knowledge from the past, from people who I know, not myself, not my family, but people I've known in the past who have done this. They will do everything to make the situation look better when the protective services come to them. So it's a lot easier to just sit back and say, look, they should have been there, they should have done it. But yeah, they definitely fell through the cracks because the child protective services had, have never, if they would have done more of a follow up, she was losing her goddamn mind. And everybody knew it. The dad knew it the day that they gave the custody over to her. But unfortunately, that these 2 children, are now, in heaven, and more should have been done. But at the same time, every time we pass laws and regulations and everything else to crack down and to make sure that there are more, steps and more people involved, the bureaucracy of society, and the system itself washes out the good, that can possibly be caught. And children who are not or don't need to be in the system are caught up in the system forever. And is that helping or is that hurting? In a lot of cases, it hurts. In some, it actually helps. So I was taken by the state, and my mom wasn't the danger. I'm truly sorry about that, Mike. It happens though, and that's what I'm telling you. The bureaucracy of the entire system. You put regulations in place, and people are going to fight back against them. Additionally, but I'm truly sorry that you were ever involved in something like that. Anonymous, good morning and welcome to this morning's true crime coffee brew recap show. All right, next one. So unfortunately, we just recently had our 565th mass shooting here in the United States. This one took place at Walmart. 4 people were shot and 1 person unfortunately lost their life. And we still have an entire month left to go. November and December, you would think are not the most violent months of the year, but they turn out to be because of the holiday stress and other things that people are going through. The economics of and everything else, the situation all plays into it. But November and December, we see the second largest, next to June and July, I should add. But we see that a massive spike in shootings, mass shootings. So Instead of like taking away people's guns, because that was what the narrative was on the news on every news station out there, except for maybe one or two. That we should restrict guns and take away guns from people who are crazy like this or going to do stupid shit like this. Maybe what we should do, and here it's just me just spitballing. Here's an idea: instead of taking the guns away from people, how about we enforce the laws that are already on the books? And instead of treating people, with a gentle hand and giving them a slap on the wrist, we actually enforce the laws that are out there. There are more than enough reasons to, if look, you're a felon in possession of a firearm, instead of, pleading them down to, a lesser charge or to something that just gets probation. How about we say, look, you're a felon in your possession of a firearm. We're going to put you in jail for a year minimum. That is the minimum sentence for a felon in possession of a firearm. No felon I've ever met or talked through in all the years of doing this have ever said to me or to anybody else, I knew I was a felon, but I thought I could have guns. It's never been said. They know that they're not supposed to have guns. They know they haven't had their rights restored because it's a long process, and it's something that no one is going to go through unless they've actually reformed and they've gone on and actually put their lives together. We enforce the laws that are already on the books. We make the possession of a firearm offense, even if it's not on your person. Maybe you had it in your car. Boom. Before you let your buddy get into the car, hey man, you don't have a gun on you, do you? You're not going to stick it underneath my seat in case we get pulled over, are you? You're not going to put it in the center column or glove box of the car, are you? No. Who your friends are, and you say you're not allowed around me with that gun. You want to go gang banging or shoot up a Walmart later on? Hey man, that's your fucking deal, man. But don't get in my car. And because you get caught with it, you get that 1 year minimum sentence. And if you use a firearm in either a threatening manner or if you shoot someone, we enforce the laws instead of slapping them on the wrist. Why we don't have logical enforcement of the law, and at the same time we imprison more people here in America for simple drug possession, and they get more time than child rapists, and pedophiles. They get less time than people who are dealing marijuana as a whole. The Department of Justice confirms it. We've known it since the 60s. But here we are, 2023. We're still slapping criminals on the wrist and saying, don't do it again. Oh, you did it again? Okay, don't do it again. Look, we're serious. Don't do it again. Oh, you did it again? Why are we giving people, I'm not talking about the 3 strikes policy, which is, basically, a dumb freaking, enhancement, but teach them a lesson the first time, so they know, don't do it. Our court's punishment needs to be harsher. Sorry, don't mean to sound cruel. Start at the state legislators. You're absolutely correct, Gayla. It makes absolutely no sense, and even in not this shooting at Walmart, but in the last 2 previous to it, people knew. And I'm not talking, and that's excluding the one in Maine. No, that make shootings to a guy from the mass shooting in Maine. That was 5 mass shootings ago. The one in Maine. There have been 4 since then. Yeah, but what the ones that before this though, both of those people who did those shootings were felons in possession of firearms. Of course, they purchased them illegally. They were stolen firearms too. But I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of 565 mass shootings as of Thanksgiving Day, and we're not even done with the year yet. And as it goes on, and we have the Christmas, and people are going to get stressed about that, and they're going to be upset, and they're going to be hair triggered. Someone looked at me wrong. Someone bumped into me in line. Whatever it might be, And then we have New Year's, and you add alcohol to the situation, and we're just pouring gas on the fire. How many will we have at the end of the year? Will we be able to keep it under 600 mass shootings in America? It's ridiculous that we even have to get to this point. Walmart is a dangerous place to get milk these days. They need to hand out bulletproof vests at the door. That's funny, Mike. That's funny. I'll give you that one. Well, in case y'all don't remember, I was actually a patron in a Fred Meyer Kroger store when a crazed man came in and shot not one but two employees, and he killed one. And to this day, no one knows why he did it, because he's out, being determined still if he is mentally sound to even stand trial. I was no lower than 25 feet around the corner from where it happened. And when I heard that first gunshot inside of the grocery store, I'll never forget it, because it's not the place you ever expect to hear something like that or experience anything like that. And I heard it, and I'm standing there at the freezer door, and I hear it, and I'm like, no effing way. And that's what's happening in my mind immediately. I'm gonna have to fuck. I've been to war, and I've been around guns my entire life, but I know what a gunshot sounds like. But immediately, I was like, that is not. My mind trying to juggle it and say that's not what you just heard. And then I heard pow, pow, two more back to back, and I'm like, son of a fuck, And then I see people just running, and I'm like, yeah, well, there's absolutely no denying it. After you see people running frantically in different directions, trying to figure out where the fucking sorry for my language, where the gunshots are coming from. But yeah, I lived through that. All right, next one. Dumbass of the week returning. Good old Jared Dumbass Lathick. The problem with more problems in paradise for disgraced YouTube personality. So he had fired both of his attorneys because he didn't like the fact that of where the and how this was all being handled. There's rumors online that it might have also been that he couldn't afford both attorneys, but you can rest assured every single day and every single video that his dumbass group puts out, he's begging for more and more money online from his faithful followers who, for some goddamn reason, they still follow him. Even though he admitted over 5-6 times complete confessions to the events that happened. I don't give a shit if it happened 30 years ago, if you did the crime then, or if you did it last week, you still did it. But anyways, he fired both of his attorneys, and he's having issues, according to reports, that he finding a replacement legal team. That sure, this could be a stalling tactic, but if it is, it's not going to work out for him, because if he shows up to the next court hearing, or if they find out he doesn't have an attorney for his next court hearing, the court is going to appoint him an attorney, to represent him in court. Now, I guess there is also the option of him acting as his own attorney, but as they say, anyone who needs an attorney, and decides to become their own attorney, has a dumbass for their client. But that's where his case is right now. It's kind of on limbo. They've given him an extension, of a couple of weeks to hire a new attorney, because he has the case still in front of him. But dumbass is returning for this week again. I wish I never had to post his ugly mug again. All right. In case you guys don't remember Derek Chauvin, he's the former Minneapolis police officer who was involved and actually committed the death of George Floyd in downtown Minneapolis. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here's a surprise. Derek Chauvin was attacked and stabbed with a homemade shank in prison in protective custody. He is not in general public. In protective custody. Another inmate in protective custody stabbed him up. And he has been listed in serious condition. I don't know what serious condition is versus like critical or whatever, but he's in serious condition. And the nature of it was listed as serious in nature, but he's been stabbed up. And here's the surprise. I didn't even know he was in Tucson, Arizona doing his time. I thought that they sent him, farther east from Minnesota to like the east coast of the United States. But apparently he's out in Tucson, Arizona at TCI Correction Center serving his 22 and a half years in prison. But Derek Chauvin but last week was a really bad week for him. First, they denied, some of the motions to, for a new trial. And then he gets his ass all stabby, while in prison. Surprise, surprise, the dumbass, who did something like this people wouldn't like him for some reason and got himself stabbed up. All right, our stupid criminal of the week is the individual I did a YouTube short on as of 2 days ago. It had about 5,169 views, a YouTube short show. This is the guy who robbed the convenience store. He walked into the convenience store, in case you didn't see the video. He walked to the back of the store, to the beer cooler, grabbed a 12-pack of Bud Light, walked to the counter, and the clerk said, "I don't think you're 21 years of age." He then opened up his wallet and showed the clerk his ID, and he goes, "Oh, I guess you are 21." Handed him back his driver's license. Then the individual pulled out a gun and robbed the store. This is a convenience store, not a liquor store. A convenience store, took the cash from the till and took the beer and got in a car and drove away. He went back home. He didn't go somewhere else. He went back home. So less than an hour later, after the police had done their investigation there, the clerk told him his name, his full address, and they went there. And the individual was sitting on the front steps with another individual, like front porch steps area, drinking the Bud Light that he had stole. He still had the handgun on him and the cash that he took from the till. He has been charged with 3 felonies. A felon in possession of a gun? No way. Robbery in the first degree, and yes, a stolen car. Club Trevor, please go back and like the video for Will. Thank you, Pippadata, appreciate it. But he already has I think it was 6 felonies on his record at this point. Different charges for different things, everything from drug sales onward. But yeah, and now he's got 3 more felonies. They'll probably plead him down to a misdemeanor, with time served when he actually goes to court. Guns, what are they good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again. All right, so I am asking this as a poll because I realized that a lot of people who have been commenting on my shorts videos are people I have never seen before, at least the last couple of months. So I put out, Monday, Tuesdays, and usually Thursdays, I put out 3 YouTube shorts videos. Do you enjoy watching these shorts videos? These are 60-second or less videos. Yeah, put a 1 in the comment section if you do, 2 if you don't, or 3 if you didn't even know that I did, YouTube shorts videos. I'd just love to hear from, my audience who are here this morning. If you know I'm doing it, if you enjoy them, or if you don't enjoy them. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you don't enjoy them. There are people, and I know, who enjoy the longer form content as opposed to the shorts videos. Callie Lisa, good morning, and welcome to this morning's coffee brew. Mike, that's okay. And I understand that. There's people who don't like, the YouTube shorts, because done in depth and it doesn't give a context to everything that may have happened. I understand that. Well, well, well. Good morning, Gone Girl. I've been emailing you. I miss you. I hope you're doing well. You know, I like them and I always leave a comment. Well, thank you, Kitty Q. Cheryl, good morning. Welcome to this morning's coffee brew. And lastly, the end of the you know not the stream, but of just the true crime recap. Want to pay my respects again to my friend Linda, who passed away recently. You may have known her as one of the following on the screen: Linda K. Listening, Not My Verbiage, or Checking Convictions. Those are the three that most people remember her by, or as a member of the group for fighting for justice for Dassey, Brendan Dassey, or you may know her from some of her other YouTube or social media comments. But unfortunately, she passed away this past week, and unfortunately, we're gonna all miss her. She was my shining northern star. All right, Gone Girl, thank you. The longer the video, the better. I find the mic that usually right around 10 minutes is about the maximum that I want to do a video for. I'll shoot a video, and some of them can be 20 minutes in length, but my retention for videos right around 8 to 10 minutes is where I start to see a sharp drop off in viewership, even if there are more important things that are still coming in the video. So I try to keep them around 8 to 10 minutes at the most. That's all right, Gone Girl. Sorry for your loss, for your friend Will. Well, thank you, Anonymous. The first live stream I did with Linda was September 28th, 2019. That's the first one that I did. A couple other times after that I had her on panel with me, but September 28th, 2019, it was just the two of us. But we chatted whenever we could, and a lot of people think we kind of just grew apart or whatever, because there were a lot of shit that took place back then with the other creators, especially one individual who she tried her damnedest to fracture every friendship that anybody else ever had or made online, and she's still out there. But people will never know the full extent of just how much she stabbed people in the back. Not Linda, but this other creator, and she went after everyone. And some of those people that she went after are here in the chat today in this stream. And I'm not going to drag it out in the mud. I've kept my mouth shut about it all this time, and I'm going to continue to, because it doesn't serve any purpose at this point. But Linda was always there. It was me, Linda, Denise Rainey, if you guys remember Denise, and then a couple other channels, that were out there. But we were all kind of like in a group, of people who talk to each other. She made an intro I'm so proud of. Out of it, that's cool. The I can't put the Linda made the design of the hand on the coffee mug. I don't have it out here. I should have had it. I didn't think about it. But it had a hand and a finger pointing, and it said, "You stay safe out here." She did that design for me for my coffee mugs. that no longer available, don't sell them at all. Along with the one where the woman is whispering. I like Crime Curiosities, 5-6 hours of comments, less phone calls. Hmm. That's a long time. 5 to 6 hours. Damn. Lisa, never heard of that one. I like Bullhorn Betty. Hey, Mike, I actually watched Bullhorn Betty's live stream last night. I didn't comment in it though. I think she may have had it on subscriber only, but I still watched it. Good morning, Sprinkled Donut. It's all right. You can always watch and rewind if you want to watch the cases that I covered from the crime recap. I hope you had a wonderful holiday. If you celebrate it, but you're famous at Betty's, Mike. Mm. Yeah, I watched it. See, here's the problem. I keep on telling people about this. Is every Friday, on Fridays, I get about 2.5 hours of free time after I'm done with all the work and I got my son situated, ready for the weekend or whatever he may have coming up, and my wife is able to be there, you know, physically, and also she doesn't have anything going on as well. So I come in here into this studio. I sit down. I fire up. So I have two PCs that are sitting next to each other. I have a second PC that I use just for watching YouTube videos on, and streams. And I jump online on Fridays in these 2 hours, and all I want to watch is live streams. That's it. I don't want to watch videos or shorts or anything else. So I go to the live tab at the top of the screen. I click on it. And 90% of what they suggest to me is basketball, marbles, racing down a racetrack, or matchbox cars. Marbles or matchbox cars, or people who are doing a stream about one race over, how their race is more superior than another race. And I'm not talking about, the KKK. These are people of other ethnicities, other than white. And they're talking about, well, you have to be, big, black, and beautiful. And otherwise, you're fucking worthless. Sorry for my language. But that's what the content is about. Or it's Indian. I'm only interested in the those who are of Indian descent from India, not Indian. But but it's content like that, and that's all that YouTube shows me on Fridays. So I'm sitting there, and I have a list right here in front of me. It's taped to the table, so I can't pick it up. But I have a list of different channels, and I just write them down. Okay, they occasionally stream on Fridays, so they're not suggested to me because I'm not a subscriber. So I just go through and I type the names in, into the search box, and I see if anybody's doing a live stream. Purchased all of Letitia's phone calls and uploaded them in batches of 6 hours. Each batch is no commentary at all in between the calls. Ooh. But that's how I found Bullhorn. Betty, was doing a live stream on Friday. Even if I don't like the channel, I don't agree with the content, and I'm not saying that anything bad about Bullhorn Betty. I'm just giving this as an example. I even if I don't like the content, and I'll watch it. And I'm that desperate to watch a live stream to see who's in the chat, what the content's about, how they're presenting it. And I sit here and I have these little pieces of paper. They're scrap pieces of paper. You can't see it, but I sit here and so I have 2.5 hours, and I just take notes on how are they doing, the live stream, how are they presenting it, what's in the background, what are they talking about, are they bringing people up on panel, or are they just, a complete narcissist, and everything is about them? Are they begging for money with a scroll at the bottom of the page for, you have to give me money because I'm in destitute, even though they live in a $150,000 home, whatever it might be. And I watch and I'm listening, I'm absorbing, what they're doing. I'm like, I don't like that. I'm certainly never going to do that. I'm never going to offer that on my channel. And I make these notes. It's the only way to get better. You and your hundreds of notebooks. Oh hell yeah, I got a lot of them. Pippa. I mean, yeah, I got a lot of them. Pippa. Sounds like someone that will make difference in the world. Janie, I didn't see anybody join. Janie Kelly, good morning, and welcome to this morning's coffee brew. This is the chat portion of this morning's brew. And again, to everybody, I'm sorry about that noise. I think the bearing's going out in the fan system for my heating. It is currently 22 degrees where I am. 22. Ooh, heat wave. Politics. She's a Trump supporter. Crime Curiosity. I've probably seen Crime Curiosity. The name sounds familiar, though. I'm just not entirely sure. I can't place all the names. I mean, and I probably have seen 6 or 7 thousand different YouTube channels. And I don't care if you're a small YouTuber and you're not monetized yet. If I can find your content on a Friday night, when I have time to watch a live stream, I'll watch it and keep on asking for suggestions. And I'll look up some of these channels that people are talking about here. Good morning, Lemon Pie. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, and thank you for joining us today. I know there's got to be, and that's the other thing is the suggestions for the channels that I get. I never have suggested any live stream for any channel that's got less than 10,000 subscribers ever. And if I click on new to you and I go through and I look at the live streams that are on new to you, even those channels that are live streaming, they have way more than 10,000. Most of them have 400, 500,000 subscribers. How is the little guy supposed to get some exposure out there? And that can't be alone. Again, the other computer is sitting over here, and the only thing I use it for is just for my entertainment. It's not connected to the other computer at all. So my search criteria that is on this computer that I'm streaming on right now has nothing to do with the other one. So that my true crime. It doesn't even have to be true crime. I've watched and taken part in makeup tutorial live streams. Actually liked what the lady was doing. I didn't understand it, but I liked it, and it was presented well. And I actually gave her a super chat of $10. I've taken part in puppy grooming videos, live streams. Someone talking about grooming a puppy and how to properly trim nails and stuff. Like their content and how they presented it. These are just ones that I've recently. I watched a live stream not last Friday, but the Friday before. I watched one on financing. This guy was talking about hacks on how to increase your credit, your spending limit on, and to get the credit card company to expand your credit limit on cards. I watched that live stream. wasn't too keen on what he was doing because some of it looked, and sounded a little illegal. But I watched it. I can watch YouTube all day long. Oh, I wish I could watch more, but somebody I know, Pippadot, told me once, if you watch 40 hours a week of YouTube, you need to spend double that working if you want your own channel to succeed. So if I watch 40 hours, I would have to spend a total of 120 hours online every week. And that's an awful lot. I have a 7-year-old who, at a moment's notice, Monday through Friday, will decide that he's going to, throw himself out of a second story window or something. I don't know what he's going to do next. I mean, 7-year-old boys, and especially mine, is like, he's like a rubber bouncing ball. Bing, 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 bing. He's constantly going. Rupal, how are you doing, Rupal? Miss you. I hope you've been doing well. I have been doing great. And good morning again, Lemon Pie. YouTube taught me how to replace a bulb in my car's headlight. There you go. What was it? I was a catalytic converter. Not how to steal one, but how to replace one. Um, me and my friend we actually looked up how to replace a catalytic converter on his wife's car. I was like, good. We couldn't figure out how to get the damn thing out. We unbolted it. We got that part, but how the hell do you get it out? Because you got no room to get it out of there. Will, don't subscribe to Bullhorn Betty. She doxes people. Well, Amy, I I probably, out of all the, the cosmetics, the puppy grooming video, Bullhorn Betty, all of it, I probably will never subscribe to any of it. I just like to watch live streams. I know my live streams are not exactly the most riveting, content, but if you watch enough of my live streams from the beginning, this is the 255th, one. I hope in some ways I'm slowly getting better, and that's because I'm making an actual effort to watch how other people are live streaming, and then learn what works for them, what might work for me, and what never to do. So, Juicy Jules, help turkey. Sorry for coughing. Well, you could learn how to steal catalytic converters in my area, right? You could look into Shane and Crystal Robertson's case. I'm gonna get one of my multiple pieces of paper. Crystal and Shane Robertson. I will put that right there. I will look at it and look into it later. Someone I know calls YouTube University of YouTube because because you can learn anything there. The YouTube University, they actually have YouTube has a very helpful like tutorial on how to live stream and how to make videos and stuff like that. They have a really good help section where other people who are other YouTubers will help answer questions and stuff like that. My biggest issue with a lot of those help videos, and not only channels who make videos to help other creators, is how to take what they're saying or what YouTube has on their platform, how to take that and actually implement it in a way that actually helps me. what am I going to learn from a cosmetics channel? Well, I'll tell you exactly what I learned from a cosmetics channel was how to, edit to the point where you don't have an abrupt stop and then another one, an abrupt stop and then another one. So how you phase overlapping the actual two video clips so there's a seamless not so abrupt disconnection between the edits or maybe switching from one camera to another. I learned that from there. I mean, I'm not going to be putting on mascara and foundation, and nor do I need to know which color is really, a magenta and which one is not. I'm not going to need that information. At least I don't think I'm going to. Hmm. But anyways, but I learned that from it. I learned how, from the dog grooming. I learned a really good way to ignore all of your viewers from that one. So that, and I learned some interesting things about Pomeranians and how much it sucks to have them bathed and actually cleaned. You know, because of how thick their Pomeranians hair is and how hard it is to get down to the actual skin. Learn that. Ugly Mama in the Mountain, Montana. Yeah. My city has a catalytic converter thieves that made history with the most money made over with them over 650 million. Wow. Here's one for you, Gayla. I don't know if you knew this. Speaking of catalytic converters, did you know that there are people who actually steal catalytic converters not to sell them, but to grind up the actual contents inside of them and smoke it? Yes, there are people who smoke the catalytic converter, the insides of them, and they get high. And of course, it does a tremendous amount of damage, not only to their lungs, but to their brain as well. Catalytic converter. And you can actually see the documentary about the catalytic converters and the people who are doing it. And this is not just in the United States, this is around the world, and especially in Uganda and other countries outside of the United States, but here in the United States as well, where they get the catalytic converters, they grind up the contents of the inside, the little cells inside there, and they smoke it. It was either National Geographic or there was one of those channels like that, but you can just type into YouTube search box smoking a catalytic converter, getting high off a catalytic converter. There are people who do it. Exfoliation is so important. LOL. It's really is if you don't lotion creams and products won't work. I will keep that in mind, Peppadot. I'm terrible at putting on lotion. Inner peas, good morning. Smoke them if you got them. Get out of here with the fuck, right? No, didn't know that. Been retired for too long. I just stumbled across the documentary. It was on wasn't on YouTube, uh, Vimo or whatever the hell the other site is. It's also, I think it was also on Tubi. Was bored and I watched it. I was like, but the metals in it. You watch people on YouTube how they extract the metal content out of them. Everything's nickel, palladium, gold, all kinds of stuff that are in them. Agree with the garage. I don't understand why people load their garage with stuff instead of using it for their cars. Ooh, Callie Lisa, you got to see my sister's garage. My sister has a Mercedes Benz, and then they have a Toyota 4Runner, and but it's a 2-car garage, and they can't park anything inside their garage. It is filled from the doorway all the way to the back. There's no space. You can't even put a damn bicycle in there. Every couple of years, my sister pays me and my nephew to go over and clean the garage out just so they can park the Mercedes Benz in the garage. Never both of them, but they have everything. It's like what we're all the stuff that they don't want anymore goes. Ah, this computer's slow. I'll buy a new one, and they just put it in the garage. Well, you know what? I bought a new living room set. I'll put that whole thing in the garage, and then we go through and clean it out. We donate all the furniture to homeless shelters or outreach or Goodwill or something like that. But their garage is the catch-all for everything. Well, we found one year near the door, like I think 15 or 20 cases of soda. It was all just stacked up there on top of an old chair, like a recliner chair. Just, I think I'm the only house on my block that uses the garage for two cars. I have two garages. This one that I turned into my studio wasn't this this one was built when the house was built in 1944. I mean, and it's a two-car garage, but it's also two cars deep. So you could actually technically park four cars in here, or one 1950s Cadillac. But I turned this into the studio. My other garage is on the other side of the house. That one has my truck in it that I'm restoring, and my wife's 65 Volkswagen Bug in it. And then I have my other truck. We have my wife's car, and then we have another truck that sits in the driveway of that one, and a golf cart that sits in that driveway. I keep my other golf cart at the golf course. But I'm probably the only one around here. But I live in a homeowners association, so you can only park two vehicles in your driveway, and you're not allowed to park on the street. I mean, food delivery, can pull up, to the front of your home, but you can't park on the street at all. Your garage consists of your car and 300 of hubby's tools. And this outside of my studio, on the other side of the monitor right here, there's a wall. Obviously, it's a big wall, but I have a shop on the other side of it. It's broken up into sections. It's got woodworking, then automotive, and then welding. So I have it in sections set up that way. And then I've got two deep freezes, and there's a hallway, and then there's a refrigerator and another upright deep freeze. The older I get, the more stuff I get rid of. There you go. Kitty Q, you have 7 vehicles? Only 7? See, I got the 2 trucks that don't run, the truck I drive, my wife's Volkswagen, my wife's car. If I count golf carts, it's 7. I gotta fix the one golf cart and sell it. I got the parts for it. They're all sitting in a cardboard box inside of it, but I got a cover over the entire thing, so it's totally okay. It's not getting ruined by the weather. Yeah, only 7. Yeah, and I've gotten rid of a lot. Oh, I forgot. I have 2 trailers too. I got a car hauler. You can put a pickup or a car or whatever on it, drive it up on it, and then I have I have three trailers because one doesn't stay here, one stays at my friend's house. And then I have a golf cart trailer. It's actually made for hauling a golf cart, and then I have a flatbed trailer that actually is I can't remember, it's one of those kit ones. Just stopped in. I almost missed. Happy holidays. You have a Susan. Happy holidays to you as well. I hope that you had a happy, Thanksgiving. Thank you for stopping in this morning. If you're taking off, you stay safe out there. But Callie Lisa, that's something I'm not looking forward to. If something ever happened to my mother-in-law, oh my God. I mean, there's only her and my father-in-law at her house, but boy, do they have a lot of stuff. I mean, everything my wife has left behind, and They got a bunch of stuff from my daughter that's all in storage there, plus all of her stuff. We're talking a lot. It's a 6 bedroom home, and every bedroom is filled. Her garage is filled as well, but she's got that's only half of it, and the other half it's got her MG in it. I wish that they get rid of more stuff. The older they get, I wish they get rid of more stuff, but they don't. Boop, boop, boop. Kitty Q wins with 7 cars or 7 vehicles. I'm looking forward to trivia tomorrow, says Kitty Q. All of the questions on trivia tomorrow night are on Carl Panzeram. Carl Panzeram. Serial killer. We live on a busy road, and anything we want to unload, we just set it out. Gone. There you go. I tried that. I tried to get rid of sprinkled donut. What is trivia topic for tomorrow? Sprinkled donuts. It's on Carl Panzeram, the serial killer. Carl Panzeram. Panzram. Panzeram. Those people who would say, maybe I can use this for something someday, but I've broken that habit. Oh, I'll tell you something along that lines, though. I mean, I don't do that, but whenever I get rid of something, say if it going in the scrap pile and being taken off to the scrapper, because I sort out metal objects, and I have a 55-gallon barrel that I put metal in, and then I use a hand truck, put it in the back of my truck, and take it over. I don't ever get much for when it's full, but I save all the metal so it doesn't go to the landfill. But every time I take something, something that's going to be disposed of, I take all the screws and bolts and everything out of it, and then I have little organizing drawers, that are in the my shop, and I keep all the bolts and screws because I say, hey, one of these days I'm going to need, a number 5, bolt that is, exactly 2 3/4 of an inch in length. No, but I do it anyways. I'm like, I'll use it some days, but I always tell myself, you never know, because one of these days it's going to come in handy, and I won't have to run out and get a bolt and nut. I have it right now. I can't remember the last time I've actually done that, but I mean, every time I get rid of something, I'm always saving the screws and nuts out of it. Excuse me. Not to mention many other reasons it seems a very bad idea to grind and smoke a car part, right? I'll try to make trivia night just a busy day for me. I hope you can make it, Gayla. Carl Panzeram, serial killer, born in the Grand Forks area of Minnesota. Yeah, and in case you guys don't see community posts, I have to mention this again. YouTube is doing some crazy dickish thing, and I'm sorry for my wording there, but it is. Um, where the community post, instead of it posting it at the top where it should be, like when you read, oh, go this at the top here. This is the newest, and go as you scroll down, it gets to the older post. They have added a section. It's called For Me. I don't know if you guys have seen this thing yet. On it, you go to a channel, click on the name of a channel, and then go to where their playlists are and community tabs and stuff like that is. There's this new section. It's called For Me. So the community post that they may have posted is down farther and underneath this For Me section. So this they'll have like maybe one or two community posts that had the most interaction. Then there's a whole bunch of tiles of different suggested videos, and then underneath that is the actual newest community post. So you have to scroll almost an entire page on your device with your finger or on a computer or whatever your screen before you'll find the newest one. And then obviously but the newest community post is being pushed out in that bar on YouTube, the content bar. It's weird. I don't know. I hope they're not going to do it again, but that's what I was seeing on my end today, this past week. So the community trivia question that I posted on Monday ended up like over a page down, but I did have like 45 or 50, something like that, people answered the trivia question. But then again, a whole bunch of people didn't see it. And likewise, below that was this morning's live stream that, click on to be notified about the Saturday morning coffee brew, and the trivia night were both, farther down the page. But now it seems like they're back up at the top of the page underneath, the banner of the channel, at least. Sometimes they do things, YouTube does, and you just don't understand them, like this one. And they're just like, a testing, beta. And then like in a couple of weeks from now, I'll get like a notification. Hey, we're trying out this new thing that's going to screw over your watch content for a couple of weeks. But you're totally okay with making no money at all, right? Because we're here for you. We're YouTube. I complain about them, but I couldn't survive without them. Ooh. The moment you know something out, you need it. Throw something out. Oh, throw something out. Yeah. At least that's my experience. No, she'd cook a catalytic converter for Thanksgiving. I'm sure she made dinner for her and her hubby. She probably made them snickerdoodles, and none of us get any. Oh, my daughter made pies and desserts. Oh man, they were the bomb. I'm not a big pumpkin pie fan, but the cherry pie and the pumpkin what do they call them, pumpkin turnovers. Boy, those were so good. Watch a live and you can't watch the live comments anymore. Really? Yeah, they do things like that all the time. Taking the about section down. Yeah. Why? I don't. Rupel, if you want to find the about section, I found out where they moved it to. In case you didn't know. So if you here's like the YouTube. Let's just say that. Imagine a square box. All right, that's the channel. You'll have like the picture, icon picture of the channel, and information right here, like how many subscribers they have. Maybe there might be a link or something to a Cash App or whatever. Even though Cash App and those are not to be promoted or be on YouTube because they're not a verified source that's not going to track you with cookies. But anyways, that's a whole other subject. But there'll be maybe a link or something here or a small little bio. You'll see 3 little dots right there. If you click on those 3 little dots, it's going to bring up a pop-up menu. I'm pretty sure even if you have pop-up blocker, it still bring up that menu. And then you scroll down, and that's where they move to the about section. I guess they determined that not enough people are looking or reading at what the about section is. And you don't have to click on anything else. Once you click on the 3 dots, you just have to scroll down, and it'll actually show you the about section. Yeah, that they do things like this. Maybe they'll bring it back. Maybe they won't. Probably not. I mean, that about section, that was where, you had the an email contact information in case you want someone to contact you. Where I went from my meal, they had no pie. Shamefully, really. Wow. I'm sorry, lemon pie. Hmm. I mean, I guess they take these sections away and they do these, move things around. Maybe they call it, in the name of progress. That's probably what it is. Name of progress. Case X Case. Good morning and welcome to this morning's Coffee Brew recap. This is the chat portion of the day of the stream, but I still hope that you had a wonderful holiday. And thank you for joining us. Sometimes it sounds, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it sounds like the damn fan from the exhaust is going to come through the ceiling. It gets louder and louder, and then it gets quieter. I cooked a big dinner the day before. Hubby worked 13-hour shift on most holidays. Had sad, but he loves the triple pay and gets for 2 days. Wow. My brother-in-law, he was one of the ones that was supposed to be here for Thanksgiving, but he took an overtime shift. They get holiday pay plus double, so I guess that would be almost triple, right? No pie for lemon pie. That's just disgrace. You can't hear it on your YouTube, huh? Well, maybe I'll post a thing on the community tab. I mean, but that's where I found the about section. It's not the report, but if you scroll down on it, it brings up a bunch of different ones. But if I can find a quicker way to get to it, Rupal, you can use for other channels, not only my own but for others, in the future as a reference, I'll post it to the community tab on my channel, so you can, if I can find a quicker way. I'll look into it after this. I have a couple emails that I need to send, and then and a couple that I need to read, but and then I'll do it because I'm not going golfing at 24 degrees outside with dense fog warning. Not today. I'm going to stay inside where it's safe. Instead of smoked turkey, we had smoked car parts. We smoked car parts. Funny, Kayla. Funny. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to wrap up this morning's Coffee Brew Crime Recap Show. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. It all counts as an interaction to YouTube, and I appreciate it either way. Get the interaction. But I hope that everyone has a safe day today, and I hope to see you all tomorrow for crime trivia. Again, we're doing Carl Panzeram tomorrow night. Carl Panzeram, the serial killer, known as the Grand Folks Killer. But that's tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So judge accordingly, to whatever time. You can see the link on my YouTube community right there at the with the poll and my last update. You just click on that clickable link in blue, and that will bring you to the actual trivia night. Right now you could do it, and you can click on the notify me, in case you're not a subscriber. You don't have to be a subscriber to take part in the trivia night. I never close any of my trivias or my morning streams to subscribers only. And so these two programs are done every single week at the same time on Saturday mornings and on Sundays. But arrow type sign, going to be 65 there today, Callie Lisa. Wow. Wish it would be 65 here, but no go for me. Woke up this morning, it was all white. It wasn't snow, freezing fog. All right, everyone. Thank you again, and happy holidays to everyone. And thank you for joining me. You all stay safe out there. If you haven't turned off your furnace this season, I don't know, I ain't turned mine off either. Bye, everyone.